Dr. Farouk, very honored to have you with me here in this little talk about space.
Was 16, so for teenagers. Get me a sandwich and you'll go back. Knowledge of the universe is very important to us to understand the Earth. I was a teacher at the University of Heidelberg for a year and a half.
That we are not stressing others to not to press the wrong button. Last two questions.
Yes, I know about the Germans because I was a teacher at the University of Heidelberg for a year and a half.
Awesome. Yes, and okay, Egyptians or ancient Egyptians started a lot of knowledge, but they kind of took over in a lot of. The 1969 NASA Apollo mission started because Werner von Braun moved to the States from the Nazi Germany, and that's because of him.
The Saturn V was prepared, absolutely.
The V2 that he was inventing. So they have a lot of advanced technologies. Just the last two questions to the emerging countries that is now going to start their space programs. Like, for example, in Africa. What would you say to those countries? They are now starting a lot of countries in Africa in a very young generation in the space. They're not as big as Russia or the States or Europe in the space industry. Where would their leaders, not the workers, where would the leaders have to direct themselves? What would the leader have to do to be big as the rest of the nations?
All you really have to do is trust in your people, trust the youth of your country, support them, allow them to acquire knowledge from whatever source, do not limit their education, allow them to acquire knowledge, encourage them to acquire knowledge, and let them be. Do not limit them in any way. The youth of any nation can carry it and can make it reach all of its goals if it is not hindered.
Awesome, Doctor. I always say that use the young people because they have the energy. But thank you for telling me that as well. Last question: where do you see women in a space industry now compared to the space industry back then?
When I say youth, I actually mean men and women. I'm not limiting that to the men at all.
Sure.
I would actually say women and men. One of the important items that we should state or we should underline is the fact that the computations for making the trip to the moon, the mathematics, were all done by women, and they were called computers because they computed them. So the word computer came actually before the real computer that we're be using now, as because these are the women that computed the trajectory of the Apollo of the space missions, including the Apollo missions to the moon. They computed what it takes, and by mathematically by hand. So the women can certainly be a very important component of all future activities, and it is a shame to limit the women, and it was a shameful thing for the Apollo program to have only women, but at least finally the Artemis program will have women astronauts after the space shuttle proved that women astronauts can be as good as, if not better than, the male astronauts.
Wow.
Are you crazy? No one could take a piece of the moon for any reason, not even the president. So thank you. Let me tell you one little story about Werner von Braun, because you brought while we were in Germany and you brought his name. So I thought I did well.